Sure. All right, thank you all. We are here because of an officer-involved shooting that took place last night. This little crime spree actually started in Okaloosa County. So I have with me Sheriff Eric Aden from Okaloosa County. I also have Ginger Madden, who is the state attorney for the First Judicial Circuit of Florida. I will start by telling you kind of what took place and what got us here. On Saturday, about 1:20 in the morning in Walton County, Johnny Kirk, his picture is right here in the Johnny Ray Kirk on the top left. Johnny Ray Kirk is suspected of forcing two 16-year-old girls to drive him to Crestview at gunpoint. So that's a kidnapping that he was wanted for. Later on at 1:30 a.m., he continues his crime spree by killing an 80-year-old man and stealing his truck in Okaloosa County. And that's what Sheriff Aden will be talking about in a second. At this point, Kirk, who's on this rampage, this armed rampage, is wanted for kidnapping and murder, and he is considered armed and dangerous. On Sunday at about 10:30 p.m., we received word that Kirk and a group of people that he was with was found or believed to be in Pensacola Beach. So Pensacola Police Department, Escambia County Sheriff's Office, the Gulf Breeze Police Department, we're all on high alert looking for this dangerous felon. At 2:30, we got additional word that he was actually traversing through Escambia County, particularly on the west side of Escambia County. At 2:54, just a couple hours ago, our deputies got behind a white Ford Escape and initiated a traffic stop at Inez and Carrick Avenue. Now, as I just said, he had warrants for him for murder and warrants for him for kidnapping, and he is considered armed and dangerous. Kirk immediately, even before the deputies got out of the car, he exits the car and starts shooting at our deputies. He fires at least 10 rounds at the deputies. The deputies return fire. Now, you cannot exit your vehicle, shoot 10 times, and try to kill deputies without them trying to kill you back. And that is what happened. Once he was shot by our deputies, he fled about 100 yards into a nearby backyard. We went towards that backyard and heard screaming, and on the ground was Kirk screaming based on the gunshots that he had in his interaction, his gun battle with our deputies. We located him, we provided first aid, but he died later at a local hospital. What I have here are a couple pictures here. The one in the middle is one of our cruiser cars that sustained a bullet hole to the side of the car. Again, he got out quickly, fired 10 rounds. We fired at least that many back at him, and one of those rounds that he fired actually went into our car. On the top left here, we have a picture of Johnny Ray Kirk, and the middle one is the gun that he discarded soon after being shot in this backyard. What I also have is a little bit of a body camera video. Now, as you can imagine, we've had a couple of deputies here that were there at the scene, and 2 deputies fired their weapons. And we got a small piece. It's actually 20 seconds of video, but it'll give you an idea of how fast Kirk came out with a weapon and how many shots were fired. So I'll show it a couple times. You get a better idea for what exactly took place here. This is an a body camera from Kirk, from one of our deputies. All right, so clearly a lot of rounds there. Let me explain it one more time. There's 2 cruiser cars, one cruiser car that we have the camera vantage point, and another cruiser car to his right. And as soon as the car stops, almost before he even gets the door open, the bad guy, the killer, Johnny Ray Kirk, comes out and just starts firing. He fires at least 10 rounds. We find at least 10 spent shell casings from where he was standing shooting at our deputy. You can tell again that the deputy was barely able to get out of the car seat and engage him as well. So you saw the actions of that deputy. I'll show it one more time so you have a better idea. All right, so clearly the first shot you heard, the deputy wasn't even out of his car yet, so you knew what was going on. In fact, you can see when the deputy actually starts to exchange fire. So that is what we have right now. I can tell you that the Florida Department of Law Enforcement is doing the investigation on this officer-involved shootings. We, again, as I said, we have 2 deputies that fired their guns. Both those deputies are on paid administrative leave, and the investigation will be conducted by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. I just want to say how proud I am of the deputies that were out there. No deputies were injured. You can tell that it was a very dangerous situation while we were all sleeping. The men and women of the Escambia County Sheriff's Office are out there patrolling these streets, just being brave. And as you can see right there, unfortunately, that's some of the things that take place. I'm going to turn it over now to Sheriff Eric Aiden from Okaloosa County, who was kind enough to come over here and give us a little idea as to what took place, kind of what started this whole ordeal.
Sheriff. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, Sheriff Simmons. So Saturday, about 13:25 hours, 1:30 p.m., we received a call about a body that was found deceased at the boat ramp at Dugan Park. Those of you not familiar with that, Crestview is one of our larger cities, and as you're coming into Crestview, on the south side of Crestview, you come across the double bridges. There's a county park there. It's got a boat launch, and the victim was found deceased at the boat launch. It appeared that his keys had been taken from the lanyard on his necklace, or his neck. He has a lanyard, and the keys were taken. The suspect was seen leaving the scene in his vehicle, a red Nissan pickup truck, fled the area at a high rate of speed, and later on that afternoon the vehicle was found in an area of Mossy Head in Walton County. So after that, subsequent to that, we started looking for them, as well as U.S. Marshals and multiple agencies started looking for the suspect. We did not know at the time about the connection of the kidnapping. What I can say to that, the little bit that I know about that, because it's not our agency that's involved in that, but I believe it's Defuniak Springs Police Department, that the 2 young girls that were abducted or kidnapped, they did drive the suspect to Crestview the night before, Friday evening. And then they drove back to Defuniak, and the suspect had left ammunition matching that was seen at the scene of our crime, of our homicide, and it matched the same ammunition that they brought to Defuniak Springs Police Department. It was that, along with the bulletins that we were sending out to multiple agencies, that they were able to connect the dots and to let us know that there were additional charges which resulted in the kidnapping, as well as the homicide charge for this individual. Then, again, I want to thank, it was an 80-year-old man, an innocent man that was just at a park where he liked to go and eat lunch. And it was terrible, that tragic event that his family has to endure because of a violent act of an individual such as this suspect. I want to thank the many, many calls that we got. Oftentimes today we don't get a lot of cooperation among our citizens, and these citizens overwhelmed. We had 6,000 Facebook shares of just this incident alone. If it wasn't for the corroboration with the citizens, and certainly I want to thank the law enforcement agencies, U.S. Marshals Task Force, U.S. Marshals, FDLE, Escambia County Sheriff's Office, Walton County Sheriff's Office, Crestview Police Department, Defuniak Springs Police Department, Holmes County, Jackson County, Bay, Washington County, and Panama City Police Department. All these agencies came together at a time to try to apprehend this violent suspect. So thank you. I have nothing further on it.
Once FDLE completes its report and presents its findings of facts to the team in the state attorney's office, who we have put together that will review their report, they are a team made up of individuals from different disciplines, law enforcement, attorneys, individuals involved in the incident. They will then make a recommendation to me, at which time I will make some determination how to proceed or not to proceed with the case. Until then, the state attorney's office really has no further comment on the facts.
So as you've heard from Sheriff Aiden and from Ms. Madden, I think that what you have here is an individual that didn't care about life. He did not care what his victims were like. He didn't care that they were 16 years old. He brought a gun with him to coerce them to take him to Crestview. He wasn't finished. He decided a senseless act of murder of an 80-year-old man and stealing his truck was his next venture, and then he came to Escambia County, I guess seeking refuge. He didn't get it in Escambia County, but I can tell you that this guy had to be stopped. He was stopped, got God knows what he would have done next, because again, obviously dangerous, obviously willing to not only shoot at law enforcement officers, but also willing to shoot at innocent men, and taking their car, also willing to use their guns on 16-year-old girls. So his crime spree has ended. All of our deputies are okay. And again, I'm very proud of the actions of not just the women of the Escambia County Sheriff's Office, because as Sheriff Aiden said, we worked together on this pretty well. When Okaloosa County got word that this gentleman was driving through, again, 3 counties, his crime spree lasted all 3 counties, and then our work with Okaloosa County, Walton County, and obviously Pensacola Police Department and the Escambia County Sheriff's Office. So with that, I know some of y'all came in late, but with that, this one chapter we can put to bed. I will tell you that again, Florida Department of Law Enforcement is investigating it, and so this will probably be some of the last things that we say. We just felt like it was important. We had a video. We haven't had body cameras long. We've had body cameras for probably 2 months now, and you can see the value of that. The value is that the residents of Escambia County can see what their taxpayer dollars are going towards, and that's towards the brave men and women here at the Sheriff's Office. Any questions for us? Yes, sir.
Were there other people in the car with him, and are you searching for another suspect?
Yes, thank you. There were, we believe there was one more, there was two other people in the car. There was a female that was in the driver's seat. We talked to her, and then we released her. And we believe there was one other male that was in the car. And on the very far right, there's a Michael Allen Larson. We believe that is the individual that was also in the car. But near where the car was stopped is a large wooded, swampy area, and we believe he fled into that area. So for the last couple of hours, we've been out there trying to track him, trying to find him, but we have not yet been able to. So if anyone knows where Michael Allen Larson, please pick up the phone and call us. He could be in Escambia County, he could be in Okaloosa County, he could be in Walton County, but we're looking for him. So if you find him or know where he is, please give us a call. Yes?
You said the female was in the driver's seat?
I said what?
You said the female who was with him?
Yes, the female was driving. Johnny Ray Kirk was in the front passenger seat.
Is she facing any charges for driving him around as a wanted fugitive?
We are working that right now. We're still trying to piece things together, but that's a very real possibility that she will face charges. That's correct. Yes, sir.
And are any of those people that were in the car tied with the homicide in Okaloosa County?
Again, that's what we're working with our investigators on. This is still just pretty early. I will say that there was one round that went that Johnny Ray Kirk fired at us that inadvertently hit a house behind us. No one was injured in that house also. But as you could hear in our video, he was firing as fast as he possibly could, trying to kill as many people as he possibly could, and obviously trying to kill a deputy. But one of those rounds went and hit a car behind us. I'm sorry, a house behind us. Yes, sir.
And what ultimately brought deputies to the street where the shooting took place? Was it a chase, or did they, what ultimately brought them to stop the vehicle?
Routinely, we get intelligence as to where these people are, and while I'm not at liberty to get into too much of that intel, I can tell you that we had a good idea that he was on Pensacola Beach, and then we had a good idea of a roadway that he was on, and at that time in the morning, our deputies did a really good job of pinpointing where he was, and then whenever they stopped the car, clearly, when bullets start flying your way, you've got the right guy. Yes, ma'am.
Sheriff Simmons, maybe Sheriff Aiden can answer this as well. Was there any prior criminal history that we know of him?
It's my understanding that the suspect already knew he had warrants for, he was a convicted felon to begin with, and that he had warrants for him for firearms, and that's prior to the spree that he went on Friday night. And so it should be noted, too, that he did take the victim's cell phone and immediately called a family member, and the family, I guess, couldn't get in touch with a family member, and that he was texted back by the family member on the victim's phone saying, "Hey, Johnny, give me a call back." So that was one of the things we were able to use as far as connecting the dots. But yeah, he did have prior history as being a convicted felon, so I'm sure there were other charges. I just don't know what his criminal history is.
Yes.
Sheriff, is the weapon that Ray Kirk used the same weapon that was used in the homicide in Okaloosa County? Is that something,
We haven't analyzed that. We're assuming, based on the information we have now, that it's the same weapon. And it should be noted too, I'm sorry, that this was a total random act of violence. I don't know if it was said earlier, but they were asking was there a connection. But if those of you out there that have questions of whether or not there was a relationship, we have absolutely nothing to believe that there was anything other than he happened to be a victim of circumstance.
All right, I'm going to show this one more time because some people came in late, and I'm going to show the video just one more time. And again, it's just short, 20 seconds, and then we'll conclude unless you have, Channel 3, so I'm talking to you. All right.
Explain to the last house. 1451.
Again, that's when we had one bullet go into our door. I will tell you that Kirk had 2 gunshot wounds, to the best of my knowledge, and they ended up being the ones that caused his death. He died at the hospital, at a local hospital. All right. Anyone have any more questions? One last question.
Anything else found in the car?
No. Well, we're still looking through the car. Obviously, we towed all these cars here. We're going to get search warrants and trying to figure out, like you, the question earlier was, did he have do any other crimes? Well, we don't know. We know that he was in Escambia County for a long time. We know that he had gone through, I guess, Santa Rosa County, Walton, basically the entire circuit on this bit of a crime spree. And again, it ended early this morning. All right. Thank you guys very much.